Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. In this video, I will do the PIB analysis for 14th of July 2017. Now I am running around 3 days late, but I will cover these PIB. I will bring 2 videos on some day and therefore I will cover the backlog. Today's video is very important because I will cover Act East policy of the Indian government. This is very important. Please note that if you want to avail our any pen drive course or test series we have launched. Some amazing questions are there in test series based on NCERT, based on UPSC 2018 pattern. First test is on 3rd of August. You can buy after that also, and we'll provide your all India rank. We'll also provide full analysis, explanation, feedback, and you'll get 1500 discount for the first 500 subscribers. And the test series is available in both Hindi and English. So you can go to our website studyiq.com to know more about it, or you can dial this number 7291059476. Identify him. He recently expired. He is China's only Nobel Peace Prize winner and he was put behind bars. He was suffering from liver cancer. So let's begin. Now Suresh Prabhu, who is our railway minister, he has inaugurated various passenger initiatives which he told us about. First is that you know that Railway is providing free Wi-Fi. So Railways has partnered with Google. Now, which company of Railways? It is called RailTel, which is basically Railways Telecom Company, RailTel Corporation of India. It is a mini Ratan PSU under the Ministry of Railways. And it has taken an initiative of providing free Wi-Fi to the passengers. For that, they have partnered with Google, which is a company headquartered in Mountain View, California, America. And they had set up a target of 100 stations by the end of December 2016 and they overachieved. So they put Wi-Fi at 110 stations. Now, in 2017, their target is 200 stations and so far 127 stations have been enabled with the Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi services also launched at Sambalpur and Vientiane stations recently. Now, how these Wi-Fi services or broadband services will be delivered? They will be through the fiber optic cable, fiber optic or optic fiber network of RailTel, and it will provide high-speed broadband like experience to the users. Please also note that the Wi-Fi service, it is available as 127 station, target is 200. So we'll see whether they are able to achieve the target or not. It is already benefiting 60 lakh passengers per month and the target is 200 stations. Now another thing, they are also targeting to provide 200 rural railway stations also very soon. So RailTel will start working for providing 200 rural railway stations also. And for that, a digital service center will be set up in these stations to extend the digital literacy and various online services to the rural population. And as I said, RailWire, they are providing these services through RailWire and name of the company is RailTel. So what is RailWire? RailWire is the retail broadband distribution model of RailTel. And since 3 crore people in India or 30 million people in India, they travel through railways every day. They commute through railways every day. This, if implemented properly, it will become the largest public Wi-Fi project in the world. Public means that the government is providing it. Public sector Wi-Fi service in the world. Now, President of India inaugurated 7th edition of KKM, which means Kamada Kinkar Mukherjee Memorial Gold Cup. It's a rural football tournament. So just remember the name of the tournament, KKM Memorial Gold Cup. Now, we are doing cooperation with Myanmar in a lot of fields. Myanmar is very important strategic partner for India. And the Commander-in-Chief of Myanmar, Senior General U Min Aung Hlaing, he expressed his condolences because of the terrorist attack on the Amarnath Yatra victims. In return, Pradhan Mantri Modi also conveyed his condolences at the loss of lives of the air crash in Myanmar. Now, why I am this mentioning is because it is a part of Act East policy to be friends with Myanmar. So my today's question is about Act East policy and I will cover this in depth, in detail, and you will really enjoy it. What is Act East policy? This is the world, right? So this is India, right? And this is 82.5. That is the Indian Standard Time, 82.5. So the countries to the left are Western countries and these are the Eastern countries. So which are the important Eastern countries? This is what you call Southeast Asia. So all these countries, Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, and all these are Southeast Asian country. Then to the east, we also have China. Then we also have our good friend Japan. We have North and South Korea. We have Australia, Indonesia, Indonesia has had a very, very cultural relationship for thousands of years with India. So basically what happened in early 90s, that is exactly in 1993, we started something known as Look East policy. Now Look East policy was what? Look East policy was that we need to have strong economic relations with the eastern countries, because in 1991 India had become a liberalized economy and we were forced to become liberalized to open our doors to the foreign countries. So in 1993 we also said that we need to boost our economy and we need to open the doors to the eastern neighbors. So basically Look East policy, which was in early 90s, was regarding economic ties only, and that time we had not envisaged that China would become such a threat. Now Act East policy is there. So in 2014 when the Modi government came, he converted Look East policy to Act East policy. He said that the previous regime has not done anything significant. They have only kind of looked at the East, but now I will actually act on the East. Basically it is an upgraded version, so to say, of the Look East policy. One important difference between Look East and Act East is that Look East was about only economic. Act East is economic and security also. Second point is Look East had less neighbors. Act East policy has greater role of South Asia also, Southeast Asia also, countries ranging as far as Australia. And where did Narendra Modi proclaim Act East policy? It was at the 12th ASEAN India Summit and the 9th East Asia Summit that was held in the capital of Myanmar, Naypyidaw, in November 2014. So November 2014 was the year when we actually adopted the Act East policy. And these are some important differences between the Look East and Act East. Now, if an essay comes, there can be two essays. One is elaborate about the Act East policy. Second question can be compare and contrast the Look East and Act East. So if any questions come regarding Act East policy, for example, if a question on foreign policy comes, then you can also mention Act East policy. So you have to be a little smart in that. Now first let me tell you about ASEAN. How is India related to ASEAN? India is not a member per se of ASEAN, but India is a partner. What partner? So in 1992, we commenced our relationship with ASEAN. ASEAN has 10 countries like Thailand, like all these countries, Malaysia, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia and all that. There are 10 countries in ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Now of course, India is not in Southeast Asia, so India cannot be a member of ASEAN, but India is a partner. So India became a sectoral partner of ASEAN in 92, dialogue partner in 96 and summit level partner in 2002. This is extremely important. Now, why this is important is because India has become this partner. So therefore, India is upgrading its status in ASEAN. Sectoral partner to dialogue partner to now summit level partner. And therefore, ASEAN and India, they are very interrelated. For example, our trade with ASEAN countries is close to $80 billion. Although it is not much, if you see the global picture, still it is a lot, 80 billion USD, and we plan to increase it to $200 billion. That is the bilateral trade with ASEAN countries. Now, there are also 30 dialogue mechanisms between India and ASEAN, including an annual summit and 7 ministerial dialogue. Now, you will ask me a question. If India is not a member of ASEAN, what is its business to attend the ASEAN summit every time? Because India is a strategic level partner. Also, since we first commenced our relationship with ASEAN in 1992, we recently completed 25th anniversary of the ASEAN-India relation. Very, very important. Also, India attends ASEAN Regional Forum, which is their flagship meeting every year. It is a formal official multilateral dialogue in the Asia Pacific region that is called ASEAN Region Forum, and it is mainly related to security. Now, ASEAN in its 2015 declaration said that ASEAN countries want to be a part of European Union. Therefore, if we have good relationship with ASEAN country, it can also open the gateway to European Union in a much more robust manner. Although India is also trying on its own to become much closer to European Union. Now, please also note, European Union is very important for India because maximum FDI in India comes from the European Union. Now, at the 9th Delhi dialogue with ASEAN, India's foreign minister, Sushma Swaraj, she said that there are 3 C's for India-ASEAN relation: commerce, connectivity and culture. So you mentioned about number 1 ASEAN when it comes to Act East, because we are playing a very important role in ASEAN. That is a part of the Act East policy, because all the ASEAN countries are to the east of India. Then there is a summit which is called East Asia Summit. Previously there were 16 countries, then America and Russia became a part of it. Now there are 18 countries which are a member of East Asia Summit. India is also a member of the East Asia Summit, and India attends this meeting. Please note, most of these meetings are either for economic cooperation, trade cooperation, military cooperation, but most of this is regarding mutual cooperation in economic, trade and ties and tourism and all that. Then you have to mention about BIMSTEC. Again, these are the BIMSTEC countries, again to the east of India. So what is BIMSTEC? These are those countries which are on the periphery of the Bay of Bengal. This is the Bay of Bengal. So you can see Bangladesh, India, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bhutan and Nepal. There are 7 countries which are a part of the BIMSTEC, and it is in the name only. We want to do technical cooperation, multi-sectoral technical and economic cooperation. Bay of Bengal initiative. So India is also asserting itself in the BIMSTEC. Then we have the Mekong-Ganga Cooperation, which is extremely important. Now I'll tell you one thing here. See, when there is a clandestine or a hidden understanding between the countries, why they are forming these associations. Nobody says openly that we want to counter China, right? So for example, right now Malabar exercise is going on, right? Malabar exercise is conducted by India, America and Japan also joined few years back. So Japan also, and now there are talks that Australia will also become a part of Malabar. But they are not saying that we are doing these exercises keeping an eye on China and China's growing dominance in the East China Sea, South China Sea and Indian Ocean. Nobody says it openly, but it's a kind of a hidden understanding between the countries. Similarly, Mekong-Ganga Cooperation is also like that. What is Mekong? So Mekong is a river which takes its origin from the Tibetan Plateau. See, when China annexed Tibet in the 50s, then they benefited because Tibetan Plateau is a source of lot of rivers. Mekong is one such river which originates from China, comes downstream and then drains Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos and Vietnam. All these countries. And therefore, China recently built 6 dams on the Mekong River. When you build a dam on a river, you can easily store water. And therefore, the water supply to these downstream countries decreases. Because China is the upper riparian state and these are the lower riparian states. So upper riparian state has an advantage. It can build dams and stop the flow of the river Mekong. So Mekong-Ganga Cooperation is regarding more cooperation in the field of water sharing and trade, again trade, commerce, etc. So this is regarding Mekong. In fact, Tibetan Plateau also is a source of Indus River, which takes its origin near Kailash Mansarovar from Tibet. Satluj River, which comes to India. Indus also comes to India, then it goes to Pakistan. We have an Indus Water Treaty with Pakistan. And then the third and the most important is the Brahmaputra River, which takes its origin from the Chema-Yongdung Glacier near Tibetan Kailash Mansarovar. Now this is extremely important, and this is where I would say that Modi has done a great job. Now this is Indian Ocean, you very well know it, huge ocean. And Indian Ocean, these countries which are at the periphery of the Indian Ocean, they form an association which is called Indian Ocean Rim Association. Because let's say this is the circle of Indian Ocean. So these are at the periphery. Now 3 of the countries Narendra Modi visited in 2015. One is Seychelles. Please note Seychelles is a very small island, and for the first time in 33 years, any Indian Prime Minister went to Seychelles. Now you will ask me, why do we need to go to a country which is 1/100th of a size of Delhi? Not even that. Seychelles, which has a population of less than 5 lakh. Why do we need to go to this country? It's a small island, but this island can easily become the military base of India. For example, you must have seen that China just last week, it established a military base at Djibouti, which is a small African country in the Horn of Africa. Now China has a military base in Djibouti. Similarly, India also needs to be more assertive in the military. So Seychelles is at the very strategic location. Therefore, we need to cooperate with Seychelles. That is why Narendra Modi visited this country. Now next is Mauritius. Narendra Modi visited Mauritius, Seychelles and Sri Lanka in the same tour, which was called the Grand Indian Ocean Tour. Why Mauritius is important? Number one is because 50 to 55% of the FDI that comes in India is through the Mauritius route. What is the meaning of Mauritius route? Let's say I am an American company. I want to invest 100 crore rupees in India in the form of FDI. Whether it is a greenfield or a brownfield project, doesn't matter. I want to invest 100 crore rupees in India. Now if I come to India and I directly invest, what will happen? India has a lot of taxes. Capital gain tax is more, and there are a lot of taxes. What is the disadvantage of that? Lot of money company will lose in the Taxation. So what they do is they first go to Mauritius, because Mauritius is a tax haven. What is the meaning of a tax haven? Tax haven is where the taxation is almost negligible, almost nil. So these countries will get themselves registered in Mauritius. In Mauritius, if you have a global license, you can get subsidy up to 80%. So you pay the taxes in Mauritius, which is only a very small fraction of what you were supposed to pay in India, and then you come to India. So what will happen with Mauritius? India has a double taxation avoidance agreement. That is, if a company has already paid its taxes in Mauritius, it need not pay taxes again in India. So these companies are able to save a lot of money by first going to Mauritius, then coming to India. So 50 to 55% of the money that comes in India in the form of FDI comes from Mauritius. And then we have Sri Lanka. Now China is making lot of investment in Sri Lanka. And again, it is at a very strategic location in Indian Ocean. Why? Because China is a locked country. It has no access to the Europe. That is why it is trying to build Belt and Road Initiative. Now, if we have good terms with Sri Lanka, we can easily dominate the Indian Ocean. India and Sri Lankan Navy combined, and we can cut off the China supply in the Indian Ocean. That is why Indian Ocean is going to be the next big thing. You know, whoever rules Indian Ocean will rule the world for the next 25 years, as most of the experts say. So India is increasingly asserting itself in the Indian Ocean Rim Association. Again, Act East policy. And Indian Ocean is not a small group. Lot of countries are a part of it. So you can see it has 21 member countries and 7 dialogue partners. Now let me talk about some other things also. India is a part of which projects? Again, all a part of Act East policy. Kaladan Multimodal Transit Transport Project. I will tell this about in detail in a bit. The India, Myanmar, Thailand Trilateral Highway Project. We are connecting with Myanmar and Thailand. Trilateral Highway. Re-Tidim Road Project and Border Hearts we are building. And also ASEAN India Plan of Action for the period 2016-20 till 2020. This we adopted in August 2015, and it identifies concrete initiatives and areas of cooperation along the 3 pillars of political security, economic and socio-cultural. These are the 3 pillars of ASEAN India. Now let me tell you about one very important fact. There is a group of small islands which are called Oceania Islands. For example, Micronesia, Melanesia, Polynesia, all these are like this small island. Kiribati and French Polynesia, Cook Island, Tuvalu, you know, and all these, Vanuatu and so on. These are the very small island. All of them lie, you know, between Australia and America, South America, most of them. Why do we need to have good relations with this small island? Because they have very large exclusive economic zone. What is the meaning of large exclusive economic zone? See, India is a big country, right? But it's peninsular India, you know, peninsular India is a part of India, and it is surrounded on 3 sides by water. In fact, any piece of land which is surrounded on 3 sides by water is called peninsula. If it is surrounded on all the 4 sides by water, then it is called an island. So India has very less exclusive economic zone. What is exclusive economic zone? That is the part of the ocean where only India can do economic activity like fishing, like mining, marine resources, energy production from water and wind. These are all special rights. So if you have an exclusive right over some part of the sea, that is called exclusive economic zone. So if India develops good relations with these small islands, it can do a mutual cooperation whereby India will be allowed, by courtesy of its bigger size, bigger economy and mining skills, India can easily mine the marine resources for these countries. India can earn foreign exchange, or it can earn precious resources. Also, the seabed is a source of crude oil, various other minerals, fishing, lot of things India can benefit from. All this is a part of Act East. So you can see here, these small countries have very good exclusive economic zone, you know, and this is all as per the United Nations Convention for the Laws of Sea. So every country has been given some ocean space where it can do the economic activity, and no other country can encroach upon its right. Now let's talk about another very important road that India is building. It is called Bangladesh, China, India and Myanmar. In short, BCIM, Economic Corridor. What is BCIM? So from Kolkata we will start. We will traverse the Bangladesh country. Then we will touch Myanmar. And then we will go to China, finally to Kunming. This is a big road. And although this was a little inactive project. Now it has again become active in 2017, and this project might be finished in another coming 2 or 3 years. This road will give the access of northeastern states to the sea. There will be more tourism, more trade, and it will give India access to the Southeast Asian countries also. Then India is also building another very important project, which is called the Kaladan Multimodal Transport Project. Multimodal means what? From Kolkata, you will first go to Sitwe, which is a port in Myanmar, and you will go by sea. This is around 540 kilometers. Then there is a river which is called River Kaladan. You will take a boat, that is a boat project, and then it will go till Paletwa. From Paletwa, you will make a highway of around 130 kilometers in Myanmar. So there is a sea also, there is a river also, and there is a highway also. This is called, and finally it will connect with Mizoram in India. So this is called the Kaladan Multimodal Transport Project. Again, Act East. So you can see how important is Myanmar for lot of initiatives. Now let me come to the most important. Why we have to follow Act East policy. So this is India. Let me make India. Okay. Now China, this is Pakistan. This is China's port Gwadar. And here we have Sri Lanka, and they are building this port which is called Hampan Tota. Okay, Hampan Tota port. Basically what China is trying to do, China is trying to build many ports all around India. It has already built Gwadar, it has already built this Hampan Tota port. Then it is building these ports like Chittagong in Bangladesh, commercial naval base here, surveillance facility here, just near the Strait of Malacca, KRA Canal. Basically, it is encircling India from all the three sides. That is called string of pearls. Just like we have a necklace, India will be surrounded all the sides by these ports. And these ports can easily be converted to military ports, like we have seen Gwadar. Now there is a lot of presence of Chinese military at Gwadar. So India wants to counter the string of pearl strategy of China. And therefore India needs to have strong relations with eastern countries which are to the east. Another thing which India must do is that India needs to befriend, India needs to increase its cooperation, military cooperation, economic cooperation with the enemies of China. There are a lot of enemies of China like South Korea, like Japan, US, and India needs to do more. Vietnam, Philippines. So for example, Vietnam has been asking for Indian missiles for a long time now. And it is only now in 2017 that we have agreed to give them some missiles. So I told you, Vietnam is asking for missiles like Akash and BrahMos from India. These are very precision missiles. And India has agreed to sell these missiles to Vietnam, not be bullied by China. And also India is selling some small naval ships to Vietnam, reinforcing its military. In fact, in Doklam, right now there is a standoff between India and China. And China was not expecting that India will intervene because it always thought of India as a smaller country, as someone it had beaten in the 1962 war, defeated India in 1962 war. But now this is not the India of 1962. That was said by Arun Jaitley, our defense minister. And India has sent 10,000 troops at Doklam. And if there is a confrontation at Doklam, India will easily win because India's geography is more suited to Doklam. India is much nearer. From China, there is a lot of distance. China is also trying to send a lot of troops there, but India is not giving in to China's request. Basically, it is an attempt by China to bully India to attend Belt and Road Initiative. India and Bhutan were the only countries which did not attend Belt and Road Initiative in this region. Now, what the latest is happening? See, whenever you write an answer, an essay, you have to mention static things also, and you have to mention current affairs also. So these are some important things for Act East policy current affair. India, Australia-India cooperation is increasing. You know that 2 months back, Malcolm Turnbull, the Prime Minister of Australia, came to India. Now, Australia is providing us uranium. For this is a nuclear deal we have signed with Australia. What is a nuclear deal? What is a nuclear deal? Nuclear deal is that if we buy the fuel, nuclear fuel from any country like uranium, plutonium, thorium, then we will use it only for making electricity or civil supplies. We will not use that nuclear fuel for making nuclear bomb. That is the assurance that we have to give. That is called a nuclear deal. So for the first time, Australia is sending its uranium shipment to India. First time. This is a Act East. Then India has invited. Now one more thing I'll tell you here. Malabar exercise. Australia can also become a part of Malabar very, very soon. These are the sentiments these days. India has invited the head of state of ASEAN countries, all the 10 head of states, to the Republic Day parade in 2018 to have more deeper cooperation with ASEAN. Then India has signed an agreement with Bangladesh. It will sell electricity to Bangladesh, and Adani Group has been given permission to do coal mining. This has really benefited India in terms of ties with Bangladesh. Then recently, in fact just 3 days back, India approved $318 million loan for Sri Lankan railways. That is, Sri Lanka is making railway and India is investing this much amount. It is a credit that India is giving to Sri Lanka to make the railway. This is very, very strategic. In fact, Modi visited Sri Lanka in 2015 and it was after 28 years that any Indian Prime Minister went to Sri Lanka. So India needs to really cooperate with Sri Lanka, because otherwise China has made immense strategic investment in Sri Lanka. So that is China's strategy. First do economic tie-up with a country, then invest so much in that country that it is not able to say no, and finally turn to military. That is, establish military base in that country and do deeper cooperation. So India, without the permission of Sri Lanka, cannot dominate the Indian Ocean. Now let's talk about the Kharif crop. So I hope now you can write a lot about Act East policy in the essay writing question. Kharif crops are the crops that you grow in the summer season. You grow them in April and you harvest them in end of September, like rice, cotton, jute, sugarcane, and the growing area, the sowing area has crossed 563 lakh hectare, which is significantly higher than what was last year at this point in time, 521 hectare. And the maximum area is, of course, rice. Now there was a national summit on smart agriculture marketing solution, which was attended to by our agriculture minister Radha Mohan Singh. This was at the FICCI headquarters. And he said that this year there will be record production of food grains, and in 2016-17 there was record production of food grain. Our fruit production increased to 273 million metric ton and fruit and vegetable production increased to 287, which is one of the highest in the history of India. He also emphasized we will double the income of farmer by 2022. That has been their aim all along. And he said that farmers, they have not been getting the corresponding increase in remuneration, because at a lot of areas farmers still don't get the minimum support price. One another problem that happens with farmer is that, let's say there is a good produce, they don't have markets to sell. As a result, they store that produce, but that will become rotten, so they are forced to sell it at a very, very cheap price. Sometimes you will see farmer, they put their entire produce on the road because there is no one to buy. So this leads to the overproduction, and no availability of market leads to a lot of food wastage also, and farmer suicides also. And he said that these are some steps which the farmer can take to double their income or to increase their income. They can have cost-effective production. So adoption of cost-effective production. They can diversify agriculture. So they can grow, for example, cash crops, which will give them more money. So one of the disadvantages of Green Revolution was that we did not think beyond wheat and rice. I mean, really, this is one of the disadvantages. But then the founding fathers of Green Revolution were not wrong, because that time our main requirement was not money, it was we did not have sufficient grains to feed our population. Then agroforestry, that is, farmers are encouraged to plant trees in their farms. Rearing of livestock, poultry, fisheries, farmers can do all this to supplement the income. More create accessible and efficient markets. I talked to you about the APMC model, and more robust value supply chain. Then Raipur Airport, which is the capital, Raipur is the capital of Chhattisgarh. So Raipur has an airport which is called Swami Vivekanand Airport. It has been ranked #1 airport in the country in customer satisfaction out of 49 airports in the country. And second was Udaipur, third was Amritsar, fourth was Dehradun Airport. And Indira Gandhi Airport, if you remember, it became the first carbon neutral airport in the Asia Pacific. And Rajiv Gandhi Airport became second airport in India to become carbon neutral. Rajiv Gandhi Airport is Hyderabad Airport. Now let's talk about European Union and India. So European Union and India, at the 13th European Union India Summit last year in 2016 March, they said that we need to build a forum so that the investment from the European Union and the investment from India to European Union can increase. So there has to be more bilateral cooperation in investment. So therefore, they said we will build a mechanism, and that mechanism is called Investment Facilitation Mechanism, IFM. This has been established for EU investments in India. And this is very important because EU is the largest investor in India. And as part of the IFM, all the efforts will be made to increase the investment of EU in India. For example, fair, transparent and rule-based trade and investment environment will be provided to them. They will oppose protectionism. Proper tax framework will be there. And what is the investment? Till March 2017, we have got around 4.4 lakh crore investment from the European Union. That is the largest foreign investor in India. And there are more than 6,000 European Union companies that are operating in India, which give employment to 6 million people in India. So European Union is made of many countries like Germany, France, Portugal, all the big countries. Another thing, our Minister of State for Communication, Manoj Sinha, he said that data is going to drive telecom industry. So it is not your SMS and telephone calls which will be profitable for the telecom industry. It is the data, the internet data. And he also said that India and America, they will be major players in the 5G subscription by 2022. And he also said that with the usage of smartphone and a huge increase in the broadband usage, data is going to drive industry. In fact, similar sentiments were echoed by Mukesh Ambani. He said data is the new oil 3 months back. And Manoj Sinha also said that Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, both these are central to the growth of the digital ecosystem in India. And broadband is very important. To ensure the digital connectivity, we have to be prepared. So that's all he said. Now, India and Sri Lanka, they had joint exercises. The exercises between countries are very important for upgrading their skills and to, augment the interoperability. So, Indian Air Force of Sri Lanka and India, they carried out this exercise. And with Sri Lanka, we do two important exercises. One is the Slinex. Last Slinex took place in 2015. It was the 4th Slinex. And we do Mitra Shakti. This is also between India and Sri Lanka. It's a joint military exercise. The last was 4th annual Mitra Shakti in 2016. These are some other exercises. Maitri with Thailand, Prabal Dostak with Kazakhstan, Yudh Abhyas US, Indra Russia, Mitra Shakti Sri Lanka, Surya Kiran Nepal, Sampriti Bangladesh, Hand in Hand China, Nomadic Elephant we do with Mongolia, Bold Kurukshetra we do with Singapore, Al Naga Li with Oman, and Khanjar with Kyrgyzstan. These are very, very important for your MCQ. Now, Defence Minister of India, Arun Jaitley, he is also the Finance Minister and given additional charge of the Ministry of Defence because Manohar Parrikar, the ex-Defence Minister, became the Chief Minister of Goa, thereby revoking his post. So, Defence Minister Arun Jaitley released a book which is called Ganga Avahan. See, this is very important book and I'll tell you why. Because for the first time in the history, there were 3 swimmers. They swam the entire length of Ganges River. It is 25 kilometer, which what we say the length of Holy Ganges is. Starting from Uttarakhand, then going to Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, it is more than 2,500 kilometers long river. It's the longest river of India. So they swam the entire river, and that story has been published in this book. Their experience. This is called Ganga Avahan, and they use this as a social campaign. So they spread awareness about Swachh Bharat Clean India campaign, Clean Ganga project of National Mission for Clean Ganga by the Ministry of Water Resources, and Beti Bachao Beti Padhao. The entire Ganga they swam in just 43 days, and it was the leader was Paramveer Singh, who is also army man. And Ganga basically, you know that it takes its origin from Uttarkashi in Uttarakhand, then it goes to Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar, then Jharkhand, then West Bengal. And the entire journey they covered in just 43 days. So this book is very, very important and you should read it. It's a world record. Now, our Environment Minister, Dr. Harshvardhan, he is the Environment Minister, given additional charge of environment after the untimely demise of Anil Madhav Dave last month. He dedicated NCSCM to the nation. What is this? It is the National Center for Sustainable Coast Management. So India has a huge coastline. Gujarat has the longest coastline, followed by Andhra Pradesh. And this coastline needs to be protected. Our coast need to be managed. For that, he inaugurated NCSCM at Chennai. So these are the details. Chennai will also hold a India International Science Festival from October 13 to 16. That was said by Harshvardhan. And this is built in the Anna University campus at a cost of 120 crore rupees. And this is called National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management. It is built at an area of 3 acres. Now, Income Tax Department, it has launched Operation Clean Money Part 2. In the first part, during demonetization, all those people who were trying tax evasion or tax fraud, they were caught. Now, Income Tax Department has identified a lot of suspicious accounts. For example, a lot of people, they file tax, but their money in the bank is much more. So there is a disparity. These people will be caught. So 5.56 lakh new persons have been identified in this Operation Clean Money Part 2. And these are those people, their tax profile, that is the tax that they have paid, does not match. It is not consistent with the cash deposits that is there in their bank during the demonetization period. So now they have started catching, and 1 lakh person, they have not disclosed their all bank accounts. So all these people will be caught now, and they can go to the website. They can give in writing, online only, the explanation for the same. Now, if you have made any deposit more than 2 lakh rupees cash deposit in your bank, then again you need to give explanation for it. And also all the taxpayers, they need to ensure that income tax return is compliant with the amount deposited in bank account. That is, they don't have disproportionate wealth. So that was the Operation Clean Money. Its part 2 has been launched. First part of it was launched before demonetization, that was 16th May, and now second part is launched to keep a track of the transactions that the people deposited, the amount of money in the bank, to keep an eye on that. Now, Minister of Railways Suresh Prabhu, he has inducted first DEMU train with solar powered coach in India. This is a historic step. Now solar power will be used to run the trains. Now you will ask me, what if the sunlight is low? Well, then the battery banks will be used. And this is DEMU train. DEMU train has the major source of power as diesel. There is another train which is called MEMU, and that has electricity as the major source of energy. Now please note that this train is the first 1600 HP DEMU train with solar powered coaches, and more coaches will be added on in the days to come. And one more thing, recently there was a fuel that was devised by IROAF, Alternate Fuel, Indian Railways Organization for Alternative Fuel. It replaced 20% diesel with CNG. That was also one of the hallmarks. So more solar powered trains will be inducted in future. What is the target? Target is 1000 megawatt solar plant of Indian Railways target in the next 5 years. And Indian Railways has taken more steps also for environment sustainability, like tea plantation, biotoilets. Biotoilets will release methane, but they will not let the feces affect you. Water recycling, waste disposal, CNG, LNG, wind energy, etc. And as I said, DEMU train, they provide power. Their main source is diesel, and MEMU main source is electricity. It will save around 12 lakh rupees every year per train, and 21,000 litre of diesel will be saved because we are using solar power. And it will also lead to, more importantly, a decrease in the CO2 generation by 9 ton per coach per year. So this was the PIB analysis for today, and very soon I will provide 2 videos per day to make up for the backlog. Thank you for watching, and keep encouraging StudyIQ.